Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Today is a really good day, folks. And of course, you're asking yourself, well, Hivemind, why is it such a good day? News cycle's been a bit dead, I don't really see anything that interesting. Well, even though the news cycle is dead, AOC is in it. And when AOC speaks, I just have a good time, a good laugh. And of course, you know, I'm gonna make a good video at the same time. Get this, folks, just when you thought the radical left could not take another L, they've taken so many L's over the last month that they couldn't possibly take another and survive. They take probably one of the biggest ones of all. Remember when people were talking about AOC being in Joe Biden's cabinet? Sorry, okay, stay serious. Remember when people were talking about that the Biden campaign was extending an olive branch to the liberal left? AOC was gonna consult us on climate change. And people were like, see, Joe Biden loves us. He's gonna be the most progressive president since FDR. Well, turns out it was exactly what we were calling out. A scam to get you to vote for them, and it worked. Joe Biden did not pick AOC for any cabinet positions, not even to make him coffee in the morning. They just flat out rejected her and anyone even close to her in terms of her political ideology. Well, AOC then tried to go for a coveted spot within the Energy and Commerce Committee in the House. Turns out, Mrs. Climate Expert and Economic Expert AOC just got rejected by the Democrat establishment in her second push for a higher position. And so once again, we gotta bask in the glory of I told you so. You progressives out there got played. You should probably start your own damn party because the Democrat establishment wants absolutely nothing to do with you. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump is more of a, quote, progressive than Joe Biden is. And not because he's left-leaning or progressive at all, just because at least he's not a corporate establishment shill like Joe Biden is. But we gotta expose this whole thing, folks. I got a ton of AOC stories. It's basically gonna be AOC for 8 to 10 minutes straight. So strap up, of course, get ready for a good laugh. So let's roll the tape. Alright, so here it is, folks. Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez loses bid for seat on House Energy and Commerce Committee. Once again, surprise to no one, far-left New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wanted a seat on the House Energy and Commerce Committee, but has been passed over, thankfully. Why do you think AOC wanted a seat on the committee? Could it be so she could push her Green New Deal and other far-left policies? Perhaps she can use her time to actually work on behalf of the people she was elected to represent, Newsmax reports. AOC rebuked in bid for House Committee post. Outspoken Socialist Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was soundly defeated in her bid for a seat on the influential House Energy and Commerce Committee, losing out to fellow New York Democrat Kathleen Rice after some criticized AOC's support for liberal primary challenges to sitting incumbent Democrats. Rice, a 3-term House member who represents New York's 4th Congressional District on Long Island, just outside the eastern boundary of New York City, won 46 to 13 in a secret ballot of the Democratic Policy and Steering Committee on Thursday, Political Report. 46 to 13, folks. Talk about a landslide. Like I've told you guys on countless occasions, AOC is used to winning 46 to 13. She's used to just showing up saying, hey, I'm AOC, and getting 75% of the vote. She's never had a serious challenge in her entire life. And this is exactly what Democrats in areas like Pennsylvania, where fracking is a thing, in more moderate areas, when going into an election that's probably going to be decided by half a percentage point, maybe 2% is considered a landslide. This is what they were criticizing AOC when they told her, you never fought a real election. You don't understand how people think outside of Queens. And you know, they're right. This is what happens when AOC runs in a real election. This is why all of these progressives who seem to get all of the attention within the Twitter sphere are getting rebuked by the establishment at every single point in turn. This will really put things into perspective. Joe Biden has not yet named Bernie Sanders supporters to cabinet or the White House. Not a single one. Let's go back, do a little flashback to the early days of the election cycle. Joe Biden narrowly beats Bernie Sanders. It would have been even more narrow. He might have even lost if Elizabeth Warren didn't stay in the race. And you know that that was a calculated establishmentarian strategy from Elizabeth Warren to do that and to hurt Bernie Sanders. Outrage ensues all over Twitter. Everyone's attacking Joe Biden. They're calling him the most heinous names in the entire book. The radical left has turned on him. And so what does Joe Biden do? He creates a joint manifesto, the Biden-Sanders manifesto, let's call it, basically agreeing to every far-left socialist policy proposal Bernie can imagine. decision. He signs on and says, yeah, we're gonna do it together, Bernie. I'm a Bernie bro too. We on this channel laugh. We know it's a ploy. We know it's electoral politics, but the Twitter sphere buys it. All of a sudden, they stop going after Joe Biden and they actively start to try to get him elected. It was pretty much that easy. Joe Biden just swindled the masses. He then proceeds to become presumptive president-elect, and instantaneously, Bernie Sanders just doesn't exist anymore. Bernie got taken for a ride. He got used, manipulated by the establishment and the Biden team. But where is Bernie? Where did he go? The man fundraised so much money to get Biden elected. He was all over the news constantly. He was campaigning more for Joe Biden than Joe Biden campaigned for himself. He then gets thrown under the bus in epic fashion, and Bernie Sanders is nowhere to be seen. I'm starting to think he's controlled opposition. Can you be any more of a total coward? You know, they don't call him Bernie the something Sanders for no reason. The man bends the knee and bends over for the establishment more than I've ever seen in my entire life. It's absolutely mind-boggling. He's got no spine. If it was me, man, would I be going after Biden. I'd end the man's career. I'd be so savage towards Biden, they'd send a Clinton hit squad after me. And speaking of that, maybe Bernie knows better, because AOC getting absolutely rebuked at every point and turn from the Democrat establishment isn't entirely surprising, considering she's constantly going after them. She's complaining about not getting her position when, of course, there's stories like this. Ocasio-Cortez takes direct shot at Pelosi and Schumer. The progressive star bluntly stated that we need new leadership in the Democratic Party. Well, like I stated, how about you start your own party? You know, if you're gonna win your district by 75%, why not start your own party and be a representative of the Green New Deal party? Of course you won't, because it's a whole shtick. It's a racket. She goes after Nancy Pelosi constantly, but then also plays the dynamic between right and left. We need new leadership. Nancy Pelosi is an archaic Democrat of the past, blah, 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 you get it. Then the next day or the next tweet is defending Nancy Pelosi as some sort of deity in terms of coup stimulus, and goes after Mitch McConnell. And of course, target number one is always the Republicans. It's always the Republicans' fault. Mitch McConnell is willing to let people starve, Ocasio-Cortez said. He's willing to let people get evicted. He's willing to let states allow coup cases to get out of control and for hospitals to be overrun. He is willing to do all of those things. Meanwhile, actively defending Nancy Pelosi and her complete inability to find common ground with the right side and pass stimulus. Even Bernie Sanders just admitted that they should have signed the $1.8 trillion deal, but they didn't, and even Nancy Pelosi admitted that they didn't because of presidential politics. We didn't sign the deal then, we'll sign it now because we have a quote new president in the White House. She literally said that. I'm paraphrasing, but that's literally essentially the essence of what she said. AOC is a phony, a total fraud, a hypocrite to the highest degree, who's playing the game of politics while masquerading as some sort of anti-establishment, new wave Democrat. She doesn't have a spine. She pretends as if she's going after Nancy Pelosi while allowing Pelosi to get away with murder. The only person in the Democrat Party outside of Joe Manchin and Vernon Jones that has a backbone is, of course, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard redirects profits from corporations allowed to remain open to small businesses forced to close. The only Democrat who's done anything for small business. But I wonder what AOC's take on Tulsi Gabbard would be. Probably that she's a Russian agent or something, or a right-wing plant in the Democrat Party. A Democrat fighting for small business? Yeah, probably a Russian spy or something. AOC is the most disingenuous or incompetent. It's one or the other. I don't know. It's either she's playing a game, she's playing a character, or she's a character. I don't know. It's hard to tell. All I know is there's something going on there. And if you guys really want to see an incredible expose on AOC, you have to watch the video that Don't Walk Run Productions just made on AOC's Twitter video 2 years and 2 minutes. Trust me, it is a must watch and you have to go check it out after watching this video. It's titled Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Woman of Accomplishment, which was released 5 days ago. Please go watch it and comment that the Liberal Hive Mind sent you. It'll really put all of the claims that I've made into complete perspective about AOC and her progressive racket and her completely disingenuous nature. But of course, while AOC doesn't exactly have friends within the Democrat Party, and they've rebuked her almost totally, at least she has one friend, and one friend in New York, of course close to home, and that's Comrade Bill de Blasio, who just recently came out with this incredible soundbite. Check this out.
We needed to profoundly change the distribution of resources. I like to say very bluntly, our mission is to redistribute wealth. A lot of people bristle at that phrase. That is, in fact, the phrase we need to use.
And so they're not even lying anymore. They are open, unabashed Marxists. And you should be very, very worried because, of course, we have historical context to this and we know exactly where this leads. But that's a video that I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, of course, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. You must be subscribed to the channel. But that's it. I gotta get back to exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Of course, you know, it's a daily gig. So I'm gonna get to that. I wanna thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.